It's my first time taking on Edric Helene's puzzle hunt with a $100 prize for first place, using the plural because I'm doing 2 at a time, so it's time to do the countdown in Top 10 Puzzles I Did in Edric's Duel Hunt 2023. First up is some duality. Edric's Duel Hunt has a dual in difficulty too. We first get the easy puzzles introducing puzzle mechanics such that even a 4th grader can solo them. Solving each easy puzzle via the final answer word or phrase unlocks the hard puzzle. Sure enough, I solved some of the easy puzzles on my phone while walking to the library, so I'll be focusing on the hard end. But I'll still talk about the easy end because I just know that the hard puzzle unlocked after each easy puzzle may have connections. Case in point are 2 of the first 8 puzzles. My 10th place pick of a new adventure looked like a wall of text, until I saw numbers and recalled the A1Z26 puzzle. But my 9th place pick of false positives have a lot more to talk about. I'm first treated a black box, in which I guess check revise my way to the right element. However, since the black box is on Google Sheets, I can just read which inputs are accepted and manually search the one that works for them all. Except this very cheese approach is a key step to finding false positives for the black box, inputs that are marked correct when they are not. This also included the false positive for which entry is an element, which had quite the reaction. But some puzzles are just that hard. The difficulty popped up with the cryptic crossword of pimple popping. Rather than just the rote definitions, cryptic crossword clues incorporate a mix of definition and wordplay. But that's all we get for cross-check confirmation, as we need to determine how the across clues are placed. Good thing teammates are there to help solve clues, and we got through some nice ones like 23 down and 24 down. With enough clues solved, we found across clues locations and their bigram popping mechanics, also in the final extraction. I see it! The Cardi Grill serves as a unique puzzle type on the easy end. Cut out the holes and do an overlay. But there are a lot of unused letters, which a teammate later found are part of the shifting of shift. The amounts come from all sorts of number sequences. Once that's done, I later found letters that are just off by a bit. The last shift has a weird phrase, but that led to an instruction on one more shift with another major number sequence with those off letters, which included one correct letter. Then I actually managed to solo this! Hint Amgeek is another one of those IDing puzzles in a music area that I'm not familiar with, but even with 3 transform gimmicks, I can actually search songs. Helps that all of the songs are from the same source, Jonathan Colton's Thing a Week. The natural next step was grouping the songs by the transformations, but interpreting the extraction was tricky. Until I got results after dumping letters into the anagram brute forcer Nutramatic. Didn't expect to solo that, but hey, learn of a nice song. Now, what else do we put together? You probably noticed that many hard-end puzzles don't really give instructions directly, as figuring them out on the fly is kind of the thing for puzzle hunts. In the case of 2 of 3, all we got are a list of words and a group of countries. But we're still able to get the simple premise, making groups of 3-letter acronyms and identifying countries and their ISO. However, it took a while to find that we should be using the 2-letter ISO rather than the 3-letter. Still makes for some nice clue forming and solving though. Then this game took me by surprise! A lot of puzzles so far have a lot of wordage, but some lean more on the numbers, and not just the whole numbers. There are 3 times in which we take apart the fractions and decimals, start with the classic math lesson on comparing values and continuing with inferring the denominators, but there's more to the math than what's in the bag. As we try to find out what to do with the grid, notice the denominators and the star with the square. Turns out it's another Scrabble puzzle, and the fractions represent the pulled and played letters. I enjoyed bagging logical deductions through Scrabble mechanics as my teammates and I went to work checking score calculations and tracking the letters. Any more letters to put together? We're putting the 2-letter bigrams together to form phrases, but it gets way more challenging when we have to order more bigrams even with the indicated pairs. Finding the ordering often relies on seeing what bigrams can combine to make sense. So, might as well list all their permutations and see what phrases jump out. Discovering that strat was the main highlight and helped us get a lot of clue phrases for 6-letter words. As we're wondering what to do next, you might notice that the 6-letter words are really from 3 bigrams, and some of them just so happen to be in the easy end shading list. Those shading instructions also matter here. Then we get the final clue phrase that nudges us towards the barcode used by the Australian Post. Now here's why I do art myself. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so doing drawings is great for expressing a lot of information, especially in stories and puzzle hunts. Yes, generative AI is a thing, but I still prefer doing my own art. especially since these outputs were not what was asked for in the inputs in this puzzle. the identification started tricky with the images, but that arrow of retribution clue was easier to identify and gave me the connection I needed with the pictures. Considering it's a stupid AI, the letter swap makes sense. From there, I'm also able to use matching lengths to extract via AI swaps, making both these finds in this nice short experience was really satisfying. Before my top picks, some honorable mentions. Unfamiliar words, lots of hidden clue phrases throughout. As relates to fifth, almost got it but just need to index better. Submit, the disappearing denominators and final extraction threw us for a loop. 26 letters, the later sub-puzzles have some interesting mathematics. See below, a big what moment when we saw what exactly this describes. And one final puzzle that barely made it. I really mean final, so big spoilers ahead. After solving each hard-end puzzle, we got parts of a frustrating Mossiu gate. And after getting through that and the final easy meta puzzle, we then worked 3D puzzles with before and after. The final easy meta puzzle gave us enough pieces to form the net of the rhombicube octahedron, which I just know will be involved in the final meta puzzle. And it is, along with its dual. By swapping the number of faces with the number of vertices, we get the deltoid icosahedron tetrahedron. Some teammates help identify the before and after and middle gimmicks, but we were massively stuck with the seeming lack of direction. The hints given didn't give much. Until the third one, as well as a chain of email hint requests as I attempt to hint my way through the finish. As it turns out, the middle uses the average numbers of puzzles, which spell a phrase on spinning the RCO. As in, take the easy meta clue phrase and put letters on faces, cut the RCO via those subtle markers, and rotate the top. This transforms a duel, and then I do another series of before and after. I was only able to find a few words, but that was just enough to make a new dramatic finisher. This puzzle is understandably infamously difficult, especially without a good sense of direction. But the sheer intricacy and level of detail used, from the fonts to the markings, is a sight to behold. And that, along with actually getting to the finish, was just enough for this meaty meta to make it to honorable mentions. Now for my top pick. We got a massive crisscross to fill up. Right from the start, the numbering indicates we're taking remainders. But what else do we use when 0 copies of the grid are used? Turns out we actually use a positive number because written numbers also get the mod 8 treatment. Then comes the gigantic logic of putting all those words in the grids, even more without the dimensions and extra grid mechanics being obvious. My strategy involved using the longer words first and working one at a time. Though a teammate pointed out that I could also take advantage of clue numberings going to left to right a la traditional crosswords. Finishing the entire grid with the group took an entire afternoon and is no doubt a challenge. But once that's done, the sheer intricacy of the complete grid really is a sight to behold and something I'm proud to help pull off. And that wraps up Edric's dual puzzle hunt. The easy puzzles really make for some nice intro to puzzle hunts for newcomers and warm-up for veterans. Things were going smoothly until the late-end puzzles in Mossiu left us incredibly stuck. Looking back, I also really appreciate seeing the intricacy of the setups, especially with the duality of easy-hard. Thanks to Edric, Anthony, and Desuov for putting all that together, and for viewers like you, thank you!